You've probably heard about email newsletters as a business model. Let me tell you, they are profitable. And the cool thing about them is that if you have little to no experience, they're relatively easy to start and quick to be able to get to a point of profitability. And today I'm going to be showing you 5 different business models. They're very unique, a little bit weird and unexpected, but when you use the strategies I'm going to show you, in each one of these models, I have a case study that goes along with it, and you'll be able to see exactly and how you can scale them up to maximum profit. And I want to start out by talking about somebody named Jennifer Chow. And in just 4 months, she launched her newsletter and made over $16,000 with it. And she's not the only one making money with an email newsletter business. Stick around to the end of the video and you're going to see people like Hamza, and it's not the famous marketer that you know, a different one who started out with just 2,000 Twitter subscribers and leveraged that into a $200,000 payday in just 6 months with his newsletter. But the question becomes, where do you start, especially if you have a full-time job? Or maybe you're a new parent or somebody who's working 2 jobs. Unfortunately, most newsletter businesses just aren't a fit with people on a tight schedule. But what if I told you there were 5 newsletter ideas that you could launch and grow on just a part-time schedule? You could sit down and get your newsletter going in just a single afternoon. So let's dive in. On this presentation, we have a deck, show notes, and all the stuff that you need to be able to implement what we're talking about in this segment. And you can download that for free. All you got to do is be a subscriber to our 100% free Ingeniosity newsletter that will be sent out to all Ingeniosity subscribers. You'll see a link down below where you can download and grab that. We're counting them down from 5 to the number 1 best idea at the end. And number 5 is a local newsletter. And what we're doing here is we're featuring Ryan, who created a local newsletter for Annapolis area. He actually talks in his email newsletter just about his local community, and he has cashed in to a 18,000 subscriber newsletter that makes over $200,000. Now, the crazy thing about this is that 18,000 subscribers, that's almost half of the population that lives in his town. And he did all of that as a solo business owner, just all by himself. And I like local newsletters because there's a low barrier to entry, right? You don't have to have any specialized knowledge. All you have to do is know about your local area. That's it. And there's low competition. So at least for now, there are not a lot of people doing this, shockingly, but it is a massive opportunity. And the thing is, your local area, there's a high demand for people to want to know, what are the good businesses to go at? What are the events? What are the news? What's happening? What's going on in your local area? And people are continuously interested in this. So it's an evergreen, in-demand source of content that becomes very, very easy to create your weekly newsletter about your local area. Now, you can easily get a large population to subscribe to your newsletter, just like Ryan did. If you're in a smaller city, by the way, people might get worried that it's going to be harder. And in many ways, it might be easier than if you lived in a large, huge metropolitan city. Moving on, idea number 4, affiliate newsletters. Now, this one is something that you hear me talk about a lot. You hear me talking about affiliate marketing, which is when you promote someone else's product or service and you get paid a commission for doing so. Capital Friday did a feature here on Hamza, who created routines.club. And you can see here that he's up to making $200,000 with that business. Now, all he does, shockingly, is talk about morning routines. Meaning, what do successful people do in their mornings? And he merely talks about that. But now what he does is he plugs different products, services, tools, software, whatever the audience might be interested in. He just naturally talks about products that they want, that they need, and that solve problems related to his niche. And then he's promoting affiliate links. So when he drops a link and makes a product recommendation, these are not like paid sponsorships. It's a commission. So that if someone clicks and someone goes buys the product that he recommends, he gets paid a commission. Now, you can do this in almost any niche market you can imagine, and you don't have to have your own product or service. So this makes the barrier to entry very low. You just Talk about a passionate niche market that has unique problems that they want to solve and goals that they want to achieve. And you just talk about it and naturally promote good quality products and services that can help that audience. And you get paid a commission when you do so. And as you can see here, his site is routines.club. That's the famous routines of famous and successful people. And an example place, I love going to ClickBank. I'm a big fan of ClickBank for different kinds of affiliate offers. So I'd recommend you check there first. Moving on, idea number 3. This is the idea of a curated newsletter. What the heck does that mean? Well, this is when you collect resources, links, things from around the web, and you just share them with your audience. That's it. You're like a museum curator, right? A museum curator collects up interesting and educational things and shares them with the people going through the museum. So you are a curator in your niche market. So you could pick any niche of anything that you, whether it's something that you're interested in or something you know that there is a lot of money in, but you pick your niche market. And then all you do is you do a sharing of the latest news, industry information, trends, helpful tips, advice. You don't have to create any. That's literally zero original content. You just reshare interesting stuff that you find. As you can see here, over $5 million in revenue as a one-man business who's just curating, collecting, and sharing information about his newsletter. And you can see here, 150 grand a week coming in from that newsletter. Pretty crazy. So once again, all he did was find interesting stuff and share those links with his audience, and he cashed in and made all of that money. So let's move on. Number 2. This one is a little surprising, and I'm very intrigued by this, okay? This is a newsletter that all they do is interview people by email. So they find experts in their market or people that they find intriguing or interesting, and they get them to agree to do an email newsletter. They send them over a set of written questions, they get answered, and they publish them in their weekly newsletter. And you can see here, this is the newsletter right here, by the way. So this is it's called Founderoo. And so they interview business founders. And so here's an example of one of them interviewing this guy here, Andrew Camphy. Now, this interview, again, just an email interview. They sent them a list of questions, learned about the story of this person founding their business, and then they're sharing it with their audience. That's the entire business model. This one is very intriguing to me because it seems like a very low effort way to meet cool people, meet people who are connected, get to know them, and get to share a little bit of information, a little bit of their insights, a little bit of their tips and advice. And it doesn't require for you to jump on camera. You don't have to jump on mic. You don't have to do a podcast. And here's the other reason why I really love this one. I know for me, I am not a consumer of podcasts. So, like when two people sit down and they just do an interview, Joe Rogan will do like those crazy epic 4-hour ones. But I am a busy person. I don't have 4 hours to sit down and listen to a podcast to try to find 1 or 2 nuggets out of it that have value to me. So I don't personally consume a lot of podcasts. But here, you can do this without having to sit and listen to a 2-hour podcast. You actually get the same kind of value. It's like a written podcast in a sense. And for people that are short on time and just want to get to the meat of it, this is a fantastic product. And I really love this business model. So let's move on to number 1. Repurpose what you're already doing. If you're already working in an industry, you're already an expert in your industry, or maybe you're in an industry that the public is interested in, all you have to do is talk about your job. Now, this may sound incredibly boring to you, but trust me, there's a lot of people out there who want to hear from you. And let me show you this example here of someone who took their 9-to-5, took his background in managing car dealerships to 550,000 followers, 65,000 readers of his newsletter, and an incredibly profitable little business here. Again, he took his background from working as a car dealer, so he turned this into a massive business. And he is doing something which is a little bit of a hybrid, which I find interesting. So he's both talking to the industry, but he also shares tips and advice that is useful for the consumer who are interested in buying a car. So he touches in both areas, but I probably, if I were starting my newsletter from the very beginning, I would pick one or the other. I would try to talk as an industry insider to my peers, or to, let's say that I have a successful career in a particular industry. It could be something as simple as nursing. Let's say that you have been able to build a very successful career as a nurse. you have a great job, you're making a great wage. There are lots of people trying to break into your career who would love to listen to your perspective, as an example. So I would pick either be an industry insider and talk to your industry, or talk to the public about your industry if you have inside knowledge or information about it. But leverage your career, your industry knowledge, and information that you personally might find boring, but others will get incredible value out of it. Now, one of the things that I want to wrap up with on this is that you can blend and mix and match from all 5 of those strategies. So in many of them, there are 2 or 3 strategies you can mix together. Like, why not do an email newsletter on your career, but also promote affiliate products inside of it? Go back through these, figure out which one is the best fit for you. And these fit 2 different scenarios. Either you have a business and you want to add a newsletter component to it. You could use and borrow from all of these strategies, or maybe you don't yet have your first business and you're trying to get your first dollar made online and scale that up into your very first successful business. All 5 of these can get the job done. Each one of them, I showed you an example of someone who started from 0 and in a relatively quick period of time was able to make substantial income from their email newsletter. On that note, let me know in the comments below if you have any questions at all about starting, marketing, growing, how to get subscribers, or anything at all. Pop them into the questions down below in the comments. I'll come back and I will answer all of your questions down there about email newsletters. And on that, if you got value from this, give me a thumbs up or a subscribe, that red subscribe button that you probably see down there. Tap it. Join us next time in our next bit of content. I post it all the time. So I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye for now.